All right, kids of DBI, I am going to continue a tradition of DBI and make a video while I've been drinking. So, I think that everyone kind of hates flying ships in DBI, and I don't disagree with that. I think the SWR system is kind of clunky and sucks. There's just, or at least in the way that our system uses it, there's no excitement about flying. It's literally just a chore to get to one place or the other. There's a few places in our game that are locked behind those, locked behind the ships. There's, what is it, Frieza's ship to get to it, and, well, it used to be Cortican, but it's no longer. You can just instant to Isaac. Isard, I think, now is as well. We modified how transporters work, and it used to be that you could just hop on the transporters that you find within Capsule Corp and get to them, but those are blocked if you have IT or maybe if you're above a certain level. So to learn ships, I'm going to show you guys the quick and easy way to do it. It's mostly just brute forcing with a few buttons and landing somewhere. Eventually, if you get used to doing it, you'll learn which space systems are near each other. Which is the fastest to light speed to. But really, it doesn't matter. One of the things you can do, if you have a scouter or anything that you wear on your eyes, whatever counts, is type Sched, SCHED, or schedule, and it'll list all of the ports. Most of them will let you buy a ship. I think Legend, since it was switched to being a space station or a ship itself, actually, you can't buy a ship there. You can't even really land there. You actually land on the Armada, and that's connected to Legend. But either way, go to any of these spots. Corin's Tower is a really popular one. You can see all of them listed here. Spaceport Alpha, Namek, if you happen to be there, you can find that spot. It's really far south, basically, like south and east of Mima, and south and, well, kind of west, and then south and around from the Big Getty Star. You can see most planets have one, and that's because of the taxi system that connects all of them. Vegeta, Frieza is another easy one. If you're, I would say Frieza might be your best one, or the first one that you interact with, just because the Ginyu base, you can see here, this frosted walkway. Here's the entrance to the Ginyu stronghold. You'll probably be gaining here whenever you're first playing the game. And if you go west, wow, I just realized this exit is broken. That leads to the new area, the new Himphraxes Everjail. So I'll fix that off screen. But don't go too far west. If you're here at the controller area, which is another really popular IT point. But anyway, just west of Ginyu Base, and then south and east, and the big giveaway. Usually they're named something like the landing pad. Again, when we go back to schedule, you can see the name of all the places. Actually, I think that was a lie. I thought it would tell you the area name, but this one says Frieza Mount Auric. And this says a crowded landing pad, which is weird because I could have swore. Anyway, doesn't matter too much. Big giveaway is usually look for these ships, and that'll let you know. Used to be you could rent whatever. Can't really find anymore. The two big help files are Help Ships and Help Ship 2. Help Ship 2 is a little more informative, but your big thing is going to be Buy Ship, which does cost 100,000 Zenny. Typing it by itself, you'll get nothing. It'll say, I see no blank here. But Buy Ship and a name will let you buy a ship. So Buy Ship, Puba Ship. And you can name it pretty much anything you want. I don't even know if there's name restrictions, so you could probably name it something really ridiculous that Rendo might get mad at you about. But, you know, do it. Anarchy. I actually lied. Forget that. Buy ship is for ships that exist that are for sale under the ships command. This Santa ship is actually up for purchase. If you want to make a new ship, you use the command, all in word, new ship, and then the name. Let's name it Puba Tut. It was created successfully. If you look now, you see Puba Tut right down here in the very bottom. It's a working ship now. You can pretty much get anywhere you want. There's a few upgrades you can buy. By typing upgrade, you'll see the options. I actually suggest that you don't spend any money on anything except for hyperspeed, unless you want to use your ship for the Armada group event, which I think is terrible, and I'm not going to go into that, but every once in a while people do it. You can use your own ship, I'm pretty sure, for one of the events to get a bunch of double gains. If we ever got good at it, it'd be great. Anyway, the reason I don't suggest buying speed, which you think would make sense, is that if you go too fast, you'll actually miss your target for landing. Because even though it only shows you updates, we'll get to that in a moment, whenever you're moving, it only shows you coordinate updates every so often. It's actually happening all the time. So you'll blow right past the landing because unless you're within a certain amount of units away from the landing pad, it breaks. But hyperspeed is valuable no matter what, especially when you're traveling very far between places. So let's upgrade Puba Tut Hyperspeed. You can buy it a few times. You can see my Zenny goes down by, I think, about 50,000 each time. So it's pretty cheap. 100,000 Zenny for the ship and another, what was it? Another 100,000 for the upgrades. You can type board, which is short for board ship. Puba, it's going to fail, I'm pretty sure. Nope, it's just board. Whoops. You'll see the hatch is closed. So you want to open hatch, or open H, I think is the shortest one, because open will default to doors. Open H, Puba, board, Puba. You're in the ship. You can close hatch, which is close with an H. And then your first thing you want to do is launch. This will get your ship off the ground. You can't really do anything like until it says that you've entered real space. You can see you hit radar. It just takes a moment. I think it's a couple ticks and we'll be in real space. You'll get another message. Ship leaves the platform. You have the coordinates. You can hit radar. If you're trying to get to Frisia's ship or Icer, they're actually both in the Frisia system. So if you're already here, you could set a course to one of these locations. And the way I do it, the easiest way is just hit course and copy the coordinates and you'll begin to go. You can see your speed. If you type speed by itself, you'll go to 0. If you type speed with a huge number, you don't have fuel. So I thought you could type speed whatever you want. I guess you cannot. I believe status, no, that shows your information. Ship status will show you your max speed, hull condition, etc. So speed 200. You can see you can actually put a bigger number, speed 500, and it will take it. I guess you can't just put an unlimited number like I thought. This is the slow way to do it. This is the very, very slow way to do it. It would take forever because you can see we're at negative whatever, we got to go to positive. You can actually warp within the same system. The shortcut is hcalc. You have to use the system name, which you can see by using hcalc, which is short for hcalculate, which is hyperspeed calculate. And you can see the list of the distance. If you're in a system, which you can see at the top here on radar, which is the Frisia system, you'll also notice it says 0. So you can hcalc Frisia, and we did copy paste earlier. This will not work. You can't go to it. I lied again. Usually you can't do this because it's too close. Actually, it won't let us. It'll say it's... Maybe because it's another ship, it won't let you. It'll let you. Usually planets won't let you do that. I think Frisia's ship actually counts as another ship, so you can get right next to it. So when you hit land, you'll see you have choices. So you have to, like this, land F. Usually just use land and the first letter. We're not quite close enough because a lot of times when you go to hyperspace, you're actually flying in a different direction. So copy and paste that number again. Course, ship begins to turn. You see the choices there, and it's we actually don't have a landing space even though it says choice. The choice shows up before we can actually land there. So you might think you're close enough and you're like, oh, I have a choice to land, but keep getting closer to it and just basically spam land and the very first letter of wherever you're trying to land. I think there is one room in the mud where it begins with a color. So like this like light cyan color or whatever you have it set to is the default color. If it's yellow or something, I think there is one location where you have to land. You have to type land and yellow F. But as you can see, we have docked and we've landed on there. Landing's really quick. Open hatch, leaves. It's leave with an S, as in Santa. You need the S because it's short for leave ship, and Smog likes to default to the shortest command available. Leave is for leaving an exit. So there you go. You've landed on Frieza's ship. Really simple. Let's do this one more time just to show. Going to another planet. Launch, actually, you don't even have to close hatch. It used to be a thing where you try to land, or sorry, you try to launch and it tells you your hatch is open. I forgot we actually changed it at some point, probably like 10 years ago, that you can just hit launch. Let's do HCalc. Let's go to a different system now. I think we're already in the system that only has the two places. The other one you might want to go to, especially if you're an Android and you're doing the IT quest, is between Earth and Yardrat. So you can see that they're not all named. They're not all named. Yardrat obviously is named Yardrat. Frieza's Iceria, Namek, Vegeta. Those make sense. Legende or Legend makes sense. Sol is Earth. You've got the different ones. They're mostly most explanatory. Eve has just Eve on it. Melody is the Konats system. Concordia is the new grape-loving race. The Vinians. Took me a second there. Metal system is where Cortican and everything is. So anyway, let's go to the one other place that you might go to, Yardrat. So you what I do is I just go to HCalc Yardrat 5000 5000 5000. HCalculate. If it doesn't pop up with an error, which I think it will if you're too close to a planet, just pick another unit. I don't worry too much about where the planets are. They actually do move in real space, so it's not worth writing down where the planets were or you think there are going to be, because they rotate. It's they move around in a circle like a solar system would. So it's better just to move to a system and then figure out where the planet is afterward. I think I just realized I'm recording the back image on this wrong, but that's okay. So it's just a mud tutorial. There's going to be 12 people who watch this. It takes a little while to jump, and that's why I say to buy the hyperspeed upgrade is actually worth it, because you will you can see it took us, I don't know, several ticks, and we'd only be moving at like 200 speed or something. Again, you arrive in the system, you hit radar, you can see where Yardrat is. It's actually way far away from 5000. I know I just said don't pick an HCalc that's anywhere, but they do move in a circle, I'm pretty sure. So if you had picked 40,000, you'd be close to to where you need to go in the future. Like, it's instead of being at 5,000, I don't think they move in like. Oh, I put yard dart. So anyway, you see, it'll let you know if you've messed up. So let's get a little closer. Light speed. Moving within the system is actually really fast. We'll probably jump within a tick or maybe a tick and a half. It might give us a little bit. Radar again. Course. It's really easy on computer because you can just copy and paste. When you're on phone, I still will copy and paste, but you have to kind of delete because at least on my client, which I use MudRammer, iPhone Life, I just I copy paste delete that because it's just like, it's really annoying in my opinion to write that in. I wish you could just do course, yard rat, but it'll go to 0. So you have to use that number. You have to wait till your ship finishes moving. I don't think there's a stop. This isn't a full ship tutorial. There's all the fighting stuff, which I don't do at all and I hate. So here we go. We're getting closer. So you can type land. Nothing's close. We're actually kind of far away. Like, I probably would have been better off doing like a 41,000, and 40,000 here to get really close. It won't take too long. And once you start getting those proximity alerts is when you want to start landing. So we'll go ahead and just let this kind of ride. And you can see when you hit land here, you can see that your coordinates are actually updating in real time, or close to probably. It's still probably based on like the cycle, but you can see that like this update you get automatically isn't your total movement. Your movement's actually happening all the time. Now, crater. I think this is the weird one. I think yard rat might be the weird one. So I'm trying to land at the crater. Proximity. Land C. Yeah. So I think it's always going to be whatever you see on choices. So land C, land C, land C. It's still giving us proximity alert, but I think we are landing once you've begun landing. There you go. So that's how you fly a ship. Open hatch, leaves. Here you are. You're in yard rat. You can do your quests. You can get IT. I would actually suggest buying a ship if you are just learning IT because, funnily enough, if you train in Ginyu base, the very first stop after Frieza is actually yard rat. So you can just hop on there and you're done. This actually went way longer than I thought it would, but that's your tutorial on how to fly in our space system, which is based off the Star Wars space system, SWR, but it's our implementation of it is either really dumbed down or terrible in my opinion. But that's how you get on a ship and fly it in space.